crime, a tearful sight, world of YouTube. I wanted to go back and do some mapping, and I did this on the Lake Oconee, if I'm saying the Oconee murders, where the couple out there was brutally murdered. And Russell was the guy's name. Now, I looked up on serial killers out in that area, and I did a video on, of course, the serial killer that one of them that came up did a decapitation on somebody, strangulation, whatever. But what really caught my attention, and this, I believe, is not the serial killer who did it, but I believe this murder led to a, once again, copycat murder. And, of course, the state park that the decapitated body was supposedly found was at Dawson Forest Wildlife, as you can see on the map. And as you can see, 2 hours and 27 minutes away from Lake Oconee is where the most recent murder has happened. Now, I got a reason to believe that whoever did this murder could have rightfully been taken over or trying to start back up something due to this fact. You know, it's starting to become a thing with me in looking up mapping on murders and sometimes how close murders are. And just like in the Delphi murders, 3 state parks, 6 lost souls. Now, in this case, we have old people, and I believe, and if you look up serial killers throughout this area, you will find out that a lot of old people, mind you, were murdered from in this area. And I believe the one who was decapitated from the Dawson Forest was an old person. So, I mean, that being said, and just to think how much of a pattern that someone takes upon and wants to spark a total, complete nightmare that had happened. And I think I'm honestly, I'm safe to say, I can say that these serial killers throughout time that have been throughout this state that I looked up on all of this in, they were all caught. I'm sure a lot of serial killers, mind you, just like Israel Keyes, or whatever his name is, Piers Pissed. He idolized Ted Bundy. I believe I read that, and I quote, he idolized Ted Bundy, so that's why he went on his own little spree and began his stuff of madness. So I wouldn't be surprised if this person here, looking up serial killers or even heard of the friggin', Dawson Forest murders and just said, fuck it, one day I'm gonna do this myself. So, like I always say, be safe, take care always, beware of your surroundings. Someone has said they live out in this area in a comment. Yeah, I'd definitely be safe in that area looking up how close these murders were. 2 hours, 2.5 hours away apart from each other. Even though the other serial killers were caught, convicted, or whatnot. Right, doesn't mean they didn't have a fan club. And that's the most disturbing thing is in the world. Most thing is when a serial killer is caught, there's always going to be some sick son of a bitch following in his footsteps. Why? Don't ask me why. Jesus Christ. I know one thing. My wife's been watching a lot of shows, and we would just watch the Elisa Lam case in the Cecil Hotel. Of course, the Ramirez guy, Richard, or better yet, we can call him Dick, was one of the serial killers that the Night Stalker, 1979, ruined the goddamn AC/DC song with his stupid signature bullshit. But if you think about this, to think that these guys had a fan base and someone following and repeating their killings, like Israel Key Pete Pisshead. And, there was women out there that, it's sick to say, wanted these men, but they were out there doing this to women too. Or better yet, doing it to old people. And, I remember when I watched some of that Night Stalker crap. Dick Ramirez. That a woman married that man's ass in jail before his execution. I don't know what the effing purpose of that was. But when I was in jail and incarcerated in 2002, someone had to sit down and watch the movie Ted Bundy. Oh yeah, Ted Bundy. I'm looking at the guy, you know what, this guy's a fucking pussy. And you like this guy, you want to watch this stupid movie for rape, kill women? And I'm like, oh my God. Oh, Ted Bundy. Put the movie on, we watched, and at the end of the movie, and this sick son of a bitch gets to have sex in jail, Mr. Ted Bundy himself. And when you know him too, 200 and, correct me if I'm wrong, about 250 women? 25 women, I don't know, in between that count number. There was 200, let's just say 50 dumb, stupid, idiotic, retarded, effing women that wanted to marry Ted Bundy and be with him for the rest of their lives, right? And just like Dick Ramirez. Oh my God, you can just imagine how many people followed him in cults and want to do the same thing that these serial killers do. And when they get away with it a long time and, they eventually, right, if they happen to get caught, yeah, there you go. Yeah, these people that friggin' finally see the man behind the mask type scenario. Been under our noses, creeping, crawling throughout the United States. That's right. And then all of a sudden, he's a big, famed, fortune man in the underground world of sick individuals that have nothing better to do than thrive and worship these straight up pussies. You know what? I don't look anything different into these men, that they were just a bunch of sorry Sally saps that fucking had no balls. No balls, because anybody that's got a sneak, prowl, creep, attack while innocent people are just sleeping or just going home from work, that to me is a nobody. That to me is the biggest freaking wussy on earth. Sometimes I say I would love to stand toe to toe with these men if they were when they were in their prime. I would have loved to stood right in front of their face and just, you know, taunt them. That's right. Taunt the living shit out of them. Come touch a real man. Why don't you come attack a real man? You know, that's what I get out of these killers and the life I've been drawn into and everything and thinking about it and, you know, always wondering, you know, when the next one's gonna attack. I mean, it's just a freaking world out there, man, that it will never be understood. God lets evil walk upon this earth. God lets evil sometimes get away with bloody murder. God lets evil sometimes walk right out of effing jail with not a goddamn thing that anyone can do about it. Say so like someone like O.J. Simpson. O.J. dipshit. You know, that guy supposedly has a big melon on them shoulders, boy. You think that man would have the brains? Yeah, you know, they kind of looked up at him as a kid. I had read a book about him in high school. Well, not a book. It was like a segment of stories. He was one of them. The other one was actually Randy Travis. He was in that. Poor guy that guy had. You know, here's a good example. Perfect example. O.J. Simpson. Randy Travis. A sour puss son of a bitch. Simpson. A man that takes a woman's life because he can't take the fact that she didn't want him no more. And Randy Travis, I believe, I read that one day, I forgot what year it was, a few years back maybe, that I could be, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think he might passed away, but he had some symptom or something. And he got some, like, I don't know, some disease, I forget what it was, but I'm like, oh, come on. You know, that guy was a true countryman. And he's suffering. All right? The guy, whatever happened to him, I'll have to look up on it. But I was like, wow, man, this, you know, you always sit there and think, why is it that the good get fucked with? And O.J. Simpson murders his wife, murders her boyfriend. Literally 10,000 pieces of evidence. And that guy walked away scot-free. Oh, man. Pure evil. Pure piece of shit. And all he gets caught up on for was a stupid robbery of his own memorabilia, mind you. What a loser. Oh, man, that's my stuff. You know, it's just stuff like this that makes me think. Yeah, I'm rambling on, but when you do got stuff like this, and you do got serial killers that like to copycat things, and then, yeah, some people look at OJ like he's a man of a king of a man because, oh, they're blindsided and too blind to see the truth. They just see him as a friggin' football hero, and some people still worship him today. Because, right, he got away with murder. He didn't do it. Just like some of these serial killers. To this day, they're still walking the streets. To this day. That's right, people. It's just a big mess gonna sit there and think, will I be the next victim? People gotta worry about that, is right. It just makes you sick. But anyways, I just thought I'd let everybody out there know, out in that area of this state, how close these murders were, and a serial killer did exist. And I believe there's a copycat. You know? Just to see them numbers right there. Just to see 2 brutal murders took place. Right? Just to think. Who lives among us? Till the next video, be safe, take care, and like I always say, always beware. Keep your surroundings very well looked out for. You can't ever let your guard down in this world. My eyes always beat around myself, looking. And I'll tell you, if there ever was a day that I come across a motherfucking serial killer, I'll be in my full, purest enjoyment. Yes, sirree. Enjoyment. It'll be like a Christmas gift. Probably of the best. Out.